Hey, 7th grade. Mr. Hildebrand here. I wanted to explain your Philip II speech that you're writing this week, give you some tips and suggestions. So if you go to the 7th grade world history page, go to course modules, the first one that should pop up for you all, because it will be updated, is week 5. Okay, it will be week 5. And if you go down to the assignments for week 5 and click on assignments, you'll see there's just one assignment. Just one assignment for right now. And that's Philip II's speech. And if you click on that document and open it, it will look like this. Okay, it will look like this. And basically, what you're doing is we know from class that the ancient Greek cities, they had a big war where they're actually fighting against each other. It was Sparta and their friends versus Athens and their friends, and they fought because of the rivalry and because of disagreements and things that happened, and we covered that all in class. But we know that it made the cities weak. And that's when this guy, Philip II, Philip II, that's when he comes in. And he's from Macedonia, which is this land or kingdom right above Greece. And he comes down, and as a boy, he spent time in Greece, and he learned all about Greek culture and Greek ideas, and he fell in love with their civilization. And he had a couple goals. And one of the goals was to conquer all of Greece and therefore bring Greece under his control, under his kingdom. And then he kind of wanted to spread their ideas. So that's maybe the more optimistic way to view Philip II. Some of the Greek cities kind of viewed him that way, like, oh, he's this great leader and he's going to come in and help us and unite us and make us strong. Other Greek cities were terrified of him. Okay, specifically Athens. And he said, no, he's going to come in, he's going to conquer us, and we're going to be his slaves and his subjects, and he's going to boss us around. And so there was all kinds of people who were making speeches to either support him or go against him. And these people who were making speeches in ancient Greek culture, they're called orators, okay, or public speakers. And they would make speeches all the time, and they made a lot about Philip II, trying to basically tell some people, hey, we should support this guy, we should welcome him in. And then others who were against him were making speeches saying, no, we need to get rid of him, we need to get our armies together, we need to fight him. So your job is you're going to have to pick a side, whether you think Philip II is a good guy, he's a hero, or whether you think he's a villain, a bad guy. And basically what you're going to have to do is create a speech trying to persuade the other Greek cities to agree with you. Now, folks, you may have to get a little creative, right? And we'll see this in a second. Some of the things about Philip don't look so good, kind of make him look like a shady character. And you might have to twist those and kind of point out some positive attributes about him. And then some of the things might look kind of good, but if you think he's bad, you might have to say, hey, this looks good, but let me explain the deeper meaning, or let me explain maybe why that's not such a good thing for our future. Okay? So in this speech, you have to pick, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? And you have to include 4 specific things that he's doing in ancient Greece. And we'll see that in a second. Your speech has to be 8 sentences. And the reason it's 8 sentences is because you need to tell us what are the 4 things he's doing. And then for each one of those, you got to tell us why it's good or why it's bad. Okay? And remember, it needs to sound like a speech, like you're talking to an ancient Greek audience, right? So you could say, my fellow Greeks, I need your attention. We need to talk about Philip II. And then you go and you talk about him a little bit. And then at the end, you got to remind the listeners how you feel about him. Say, we need to support Philip and welcome him as our new leader. Or if you think he's bad, you might say, and we need to get our armies together and get ready to fight. Okay? You can use the notes from the Nearpod, and I'll show you that in a second. Make sure you explain the 4 things you choose, why they make him good or bad. It must sound like a speech, and make sure when you're writing it that you're using your best 7th grade grammar and spelling. Now, all I need is a written speech, but if you want to, and you'd rather record a speech, right? Just kind of record yourself talking or record a video, as long as your parents are okay with you recording yourself. That's fine with me, okay? That's fine with me. Because some people I know, they like to talk it out rather than write it out. Either way is fine. You can record a speech or you can write a speech. If you record a speech, I won't play it unless you ask me to or you want me to. Okay, so don't worry about me posting it for everybody to see or anything like that. I'll only share it if you want me to. Real quick, let me show you where you can find information, okay, where you can find your facts. So obviously, if you go to the assignments page, that is the directions. I'm going to post, obviously, this video on there as well to kind of help you out. But if you go to the module and you go to the Week 5 lesson notes and links page, there's also the Nearpods. And you're going to want the second one that says Philip II. When you click on it, it's going to open the Nearpod, and you're going to click through. I've already clicked through a bunch, but you click through to where it says Philip II. Okay? And there's going to be all kinds of information. Okay? Some that's going to make him look good, some that's going to make him look bad. There's the backstory about how he was hostage in Greece for a while, and that's when he fell in love with Greece. Talks about how he sees weaknesses in the government, and he wants to fix those weaknesses. He wants to unite the Greek cities. So this all might be good stuff you talk about. If you think he's bad, maybe you're just talking about how that's kind of a cover or disguise. You can talk about all the different tactics he's using to take over. You know, his professional army, his formation that he used, the phalanx, which we talked about in class, the weapons. You could talk about how he's bribing Greek officials with gold. And so if you think bribery is bad and that's kind of shady, he's like paying them off, that could be a bad thing. Or you could say, hey, you know, he's very rich. He's a wealthy leader. He's got all this gold. He could help us out. He's causing fights among the Greeks, so he's kind of like pitting different cities against each other, talking behind each other's back, trying to get them to fight each other. So maybe you could say that's shady, or maybe you could say, oh, well, he's smart. He's intelligent, right? He's a strategist. So you can take that either way. And then when they're weak, he would move in and attack them. He's making a lot of treaties and promises with people, and when the Greeks let their guard down, he did break a lot of those treaties, so that's probably leaning more towards he's a bad guy. But you can probably think about it a while and twist that to try to make it, you know, that he's smart or he's cunning, okay, he's a good strategist. And then he got married a lot of times to form political alliances, kind of would get married to other kingdoms to try to get power from them or to make deals with them. Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's another one. No, I don't think there's another one. Okay. And that brings us to Demosthenes. Demosthenes was the ancient Greek Athenian who was making the speech against Philip. So you might take his route and say, Philip's a bad guy, and give your whole speech about why we need to fight him. Or you might oppose Demosthenes. You might say, no, you know what, Philip, he might do all right as our leader, and these are the reasons why. Again, if you have any questions, need any help, come find me or send me an email. I'd love to help you guys. And if you are writing one, you can just send it in an email or in a Google Doc or whatever you want. If you're recording it, whatever you're using, just make sure that you're able to share it with me or send it to me. All right, thanks, folks. Have a good one.